Yo, what's up, Wash World? In this video, we're going to do a large commercial building. I guess you could call it industrial because it is a manufacturing facility. It's a large steel building, aluminum siding. It's a little tricky because this building is about 20 years old. It's exposed to all the elements, including the sun, all day long. Zero oxidation, not one speck of it anywhere on this building, and I had to make sure it stayed that way. Not that I had any doubt that I could. It's just when it's in that good a condition and not very dirty to begin with, it kind of stays in the back of your head that, you know, it's like, geez, in the one place, please don't let this screw up, you know. Anyway, did the building, the gutters. I didn't film any of the gutter cleaning. Did the walkways and the loading dock area. We're all gonna go through a voiceover of what I was doing, how I did it. I'll recap how I got the jobs, but I also want to talk about Indigo Home Services. It's been exactly 2 years since I started this business. Some of you, it'll be a recap again on what got me here, why I started this, where I am now, and where I'm going. Anyway, let's get into it. Well, here she is. This is the front of the building. As we go around the corner over here, you'll see exactly how big this building is. It's nothing gigantic, but it's nothing small either. It's pretty straightforward doing the building. I said I cleaned the gutters first. It took me most of the day to do that. This is late in the afternoon. The sun's going to start setting here soon, as you'll see as we round our way back around the other building. But I wanted to knock out the gutters in the building in a day, and then knock out the surface work the next day. And to stay on schedule, I stayed a little bit longer. It didn't take long to go around this building. It really wasn't even dirty, except for the front, and it was mostly the windows that looked really dirty there. There's some staining around the downspouts on the gutters, but that was really about it. But still, hit the whole building and worked my way all the way around before it got totally dark. But as you'll see, I think I already do it anyway. There we go. Make sure I just get those windows real good because they go down about another third behind the hedge line there. And I just didn't want, you know, windows half or 2/3 clean as they sit in their offices, and that whole bottom half is dirty. So made sure they were really, really clean. But other than that, man, it's, you know, just fire up the pressure washer, plug in the downstream injector, and go to work. That was it. This was a pretty easy building and pretty easy wash. Surface cleaning, as we'll get to here shortly, is a totally different beast. The gutter was a beast because I was pulling pine trees out of that back end over there. The front, it was really empty. I didn't even have to clean it. But I spent hours pulling out pine needles and other debris and pine trees off the back ends of both sides. But what else brings me here today, I guess you could say, is the fact that it's 2 years in this business, and the business started just to start, really. There was no necessity. I wasn't looking to stop punching a clock or need extra money. The only thing, the real purpose behind it was to meet new clients. I moved an hour north out of the town that I grew up in and lived in for decades, and wanted a way to meet other people, to introduce what I did and what I still do is landscape design and construction. About 5 years ago, I gave up the employee thing. I started subcontracting all the work. I did the meeting with the clients, the design, and managed the projects, but hired 2 companies that I work with and have a long relationship with to do all the work. And even before that, what I'm getting at is at the end of every project, because most of these are really big projects that go on for weeks and weeks, if not months, we would wash the houses just as a courtesy. And I started that many years ago, and then kind of caught on to, it was a selling point for me because people were looking at it going, this guy's really detail oriented and focused and wants to have his best interest in our property. and it became a strong selling point. So I said, well, let's flip that. Let's not have that on the back end. Let's put it on the front end. And then I can cherry pick who I want to say to up here in the Myrtle Beach area that I do landscape design and construction. And as I started doing it, I found myself not even mentioning that because I just loved what I was doing. I wanted the next house washing job. I didn't want the next landscaping job. And it had been back in my head for a couple of years to maybe let the landscaping go. I'm on burnout since 1994, and my father owns a large landscaping company in Charleston as well. I grew up working with his crews, and I'm like, man, I just need something else. And so I began to enjoy the solitude. There's nobody calling me about a design. There's nobody calling me about plant sizes or installation guidelines or the oh shit factor or something happened. It's just me and the machines, and that's all I had to worry about, and I love that, and I embraced it. But Indigo Home Services isn't Indigo Pressure Washing or Indigo Soft Wash for a reason. The original plan was to grow it and grow it even outside of the pressure washing. It was supposed to be its own cleaning service business. That if cleaning is to be done, it's within Indigo Home Services. And then the landscaping company could just be the landscaping company. But as I said, that started to fade out. I've started to fade it out on my own. And then COVID came around, and I was like, oh no, I better hold on to that. Nobody knows what's going to go on here, and I may need work from any direction that comes. Well, both businesses blew up. And so I'm back at a point where I'm kind of relaxing a little bit on the landscaping. I take 3 or 4 designs a year, which is great because it breaks up the monotony of this, and that breaks up the monotony of the pressure washing. It's 2 very different worlds for me, but they work for me. So that's where we're at. But I'm going to hire somebody soon. I could have 6 months ago, just haven't done it. Again, I enjoy the solitude of this and the freedom that, well, if I want to stop at 2 and go hit the waves and go surfing for a while, then that's what I do. But the plan is to grow this and get into house cleaning, window washing, commercial cleaning. That's the whole master plan. And that's my next step. Actually, my very next step is to find a vehicle that's 100% dedicated to the business. Then find some employees and then grow it out from there. And I was just kind of, it's like a sign coming at me because for weeks people are just calling me out of the blue saying, hey, do you offer house cleaning? And it's my sign. That's my time. It's like, hey, let's do this. And some clients that I've done house washes for, they're like, y'all do house cleaning or know anybody that does? So, as the comedian says, here's your sign. It's time to jump. It's time to move on. It's time to expand and just get all the wheels in motion on this. And that's really where I'm headed. And next year, I hope it's completely changed. But in the back of my head, I'll say it again, I'm really enjoying the alone time out here. I really, really am. It's the first time I've really been able to do that. But the business won't grow a whole lot if I don't take that next step. And not that if you're new to this, it should be your next step this soon. I said, I have other income paths. There's real estate and other things that I've been involved with for years. I don't have one iron and one fire. That's not the way I've ever been. If you're new to this, just plug away at getting the work and then upgrading your equipment. And maybe before that, but if not, very quickly after, get an accountant, a CPA, somebody that can help you in the back of house, in the office area. That should be your first move. That was mine years ago when I first started off my business. I was fortunate when we got out of college that 2 of my best friends came out as CPAs. And one of them is a business partner now and has been for many years, and the other one is still my CPA. Get that under your belt now. Do it now, and you'll thank me a lot for it later. Anyway, we'll see where I am this time next year. But that's the plan, is to start growing this thing out and take that next step. As you can see here, the dock area was extremely dirty, just like the rest of it. And it's big in itself. I've never done a loading dock, and I don't know if I did anything backwards or not, but I cleaned out the loading dock area first because there was a lot of piles of dirt and debris and everything down there, leaves and stuff. Shoveled all that out, and then I did the walls, which were just, I mean, probably 3 inches thick with moss, especially that one that's right there where I'm at now on the other side. And so then I had to flush everything down the drain again. And then I came up here and did the surface clean. Of course, that put more sand, silt, and junk down in there. So I washed it back down the drain over there again. Then did the finished off the bottom. Here we go, right here of the area where the trucks come in, and had to rinse it all down again. There was a lot of steps in that, and probably 2 or 3 more than I had predicted, but I still did extremely well in pricing this job. I was very happy where I came out on this. And it was brutally hot. It hasn't been too hot here for me. I mean, having lived and grown up in this area, hasn't been too hot for me at all until right after the 4th of July when I started this. And of course, you're out there around all that concrete, metal, and just exposed straight out in the sun. There's a lot of breaks to be taken on this day. A lot. And the day before, being up on the roof, it was, I mean, I came down off that ladder probably every 10 minutes and sat for 5 minutes drinking water. It was, at one point in time, my truck had been in the shade all day, and it was reading 108 inside of that thing. So I know it wasn't any kind of artificial reflective heat. That was a real number. That's hot, boys and girls. That's hot. But this is about to wrap up. This is the last time that I pushed all the water and all the crap down the drain over there, and I'm gonna do a little post treatment here. Everything came out real nice. There really wasn't any striping or anything, and I really didn't miss any spots on all this. Surprisingly, I thought I'd have a lot of spots to revisit, and I didn't. I just, luckily it just happened that way. But we're about done with it here, and I'm going to show you some before and after pics. And if you know of a really good way to do these docking areas, let me know. It's the first one I'd done, and I knew how long it would take approximately, and I just kind of winged it. But anyway, here you go, finished product, and I'll see you again real soon. Y'all take care.